to deliver this session. So we, as an organization, we are into a corporate training, and we do IT and soft skills training. So we've been working with clients like Infosys, Tata Elxsi, Sony, and much more. So IT and soft skills training is what we do, and we are very happy for the opportunity what we have got to deliver a session on AI. So Rahul will be our trainer. So maybe I will ask him to give a quick introduction and to kickstart the session. Over to you, Rahul.
Alrighty, so welcome to the session, and I hope all of you guys are doing good. So, my name is Rahul Tiwari, around 18 plus years of experience into IT. I work with various organizations like Accenture, Capgemini, Tech Mahindra, Deloitte, and into training for last 7-8 years plus consulting as well. So today's discussion will be more on how AI can be integrated with HR operations and maybe some strategic planning. So we'll go through some of the slides out here, and I'll give you two demos. One demo will be for some strategic outcome from GenAI, and second demo will be more on a chatbot where we have a document, and from that document, how we can get the insights or how we can get the responses. So HR is, again, what we have seen. We have worked with various different clients out here and also giving training as well. So they have good amount of data, but the main thing is that how can we give the insights out there? So input overload, like we have a lot of data we have in the HR domain. So we have an explosion of employee data. The friction which we have is we are pretty much reactive and we miss the signals for attrition, engagement dips, and burnout until it's too late. And the result is basically data exists, but insights does not reach leaders in the time to act, right? So 60 to 70% of the time spent on operational queries, and that is the time consuming process. So the idea here is that how we can take help from GenAI and get the insights from that data so that we can, rather than spending time on collecting the data or processing the data, if we provide that entire information to the machine and how machine can generate the insights for me in just few clicks. So the shift from reactive support to predictive strategy is what we can think of when we are getting into the GenAI approach and creating the solutions. So the traditional HR will be policy-driven manual reporting, reliant on lagging indicators, reactive actions. How can HR scale intelligence without scaling headcount? So the goal will be insight-driven, predictive and prescriptive analytics, real-time decision support, and business-aligned actions. So if we get all these things when we are passing the information to the machine, then that will be the good win for us as a professionals. So GenAI is a cognitive augmentation, not just automation. So what we can do is we can give the data from various sources like HRMS, texts, the surveys which we are taking in. So we provide that, and based on that data, your GenAI solution will act as analyst, which will never sleep, identify the risks before they will occur. So it will give answers to us in a plain English language. Why, not just what. If you want, we can generate the outcome in the more of a reporting format as well. Like I want to see some charts, I want to get some insights from that data. So that is also can be done. But the solution which I'm going to show you, which I have created for demo purpose, will be providing some of the textual information based on some dummy data which I have created. So the key differentiator will be GenAI is not just the automation, but it is a consultant that understands your data and give the actions and not just the dashboards. So this will be the layer. So the sources will be various different sources which you guys will be generating data from. HRMS is there, engagement surveys are there, LMS platforms for trainings we have, performance systems we have, and maybe some of the exit interviews, which can also help us to understand why people are leaving the organization. Then the Gen AI layer will get the insights. It will generate the insights for me. It will summarize the things for me and doing the predictions or giving the recommendations. And then finally, your HR actions, where the data which we are getting from the Gen AI will be providing it to the leadership, and they will take actions from that particular outcome which we got. So this can be the architecture, and the middle layer will be the Gen AI layer, which can be passed, and all the data will pass to that layer, and the insights will be getting generated. There can be different use cases where we can apply Gen AI. So the main idea is that we as a non-technical folks, we may not be having the idea that how to create the code or something like that. But with the help of Gen AI, we can do that also. We can create some small applications for demo purpose, and we can showcase that to the management that this type of thing can be done. And then maybe you can align some of the technical teams out there and ask them to build the entire solution for you. So some of the use cases can be detecting leadership risks before teams disengage. So the context can be leadership effectiveness is often assessed too late because feedback is scattered across surveys and reviews. So the AI, which is going to give the advantage, is inputs, analyzes engagement feedback, 360 reviews, and team performance trends simultaneously. Analysis will be identifies leadership strengths, risk behaviors, and burnout signals. The real world insights which you can get something like managers in sales show high result but declining team sentiment, risk of attrition in 3 to 6 months. So this type of insights your machine will generate for you. So the outcome will be proactive coaching rather than just do the reactive replacement. So this way we have to think of the use cases where we can apply the use case. Again, you are more expert on the HR domain and you may be aware what type of data you guys are generating. These are some of the data which I thought of and came up with the use cases. Second use case can be personalizing retention at scale. So moving from annual generic surveys to continuous role level insights. The AI advantage can be continuous sentiment analysis at the role and manager level, personalized retention recommendation. So you'll get some output, something like employees with low learning mobility and high workload have 2 to 2.3x attrition risk. Identify silent risk and standard dashboard miss. So this type of insights, again, you can get from the data which you are generating. One more use case which I can think of is talent and succession. So future proofing the leadership pipeline. The context will be static succession plans often suffer from bias and lack dynamic readiness scores. The advantage will be capabilities like skill gap mapping, objective readiness scoring, and scenario simulations. Real world insights can be if current attrition continues, only 40% of the leadership roles will have ready successors in 12 months. So this is the output which machine will give you by seeing the data. Removing biases and highlighting genuine gaps. One more use case is on the learning. So aligning skill development with business evolution. So training decisions are often based on intuition with low visibility with into our ROI. So advantage can be connects performance gaps, skill demand trends, and role evolution, and suggest targeted learning paths. So these days, again, a lot of solutions are being built, which is giving the customized learning plan based on the skills the employee already has and the skills which is what they are weak in, right? So it will give a proper learning path rather than just all the employees going into a single training. We prefer to provide the customized learning plan to each of the employees. So that type of solution can also be built in the with the help of GenAI. The main thing is that the proper data we have to give. If the data is biased or if the data is not correct, then obviously the output will also be something like a junk, which we may not use it. So right training, right people, right time. The investment is directed where the business needs it most. So from raw data to plain English recommendation. So the use case which I am going to show will be having this type of architecture. So I have created one dummy data on the CSV file. It can be any database as well. So technically we can very well align that. So there is no issue with that. So engagement data, where we can have data from CSVs, databases, AI reasoning layer, where we can get the patterns. Machine will understand what's the trend looks like. And based on that, it will generate the output for me. For example, engagement dropped by 18% in tech teams led by new managers, right? So that type of insights I can very well get directly from the machine rather than me analyzing it. We can cross verify that. We have to fine tune the system as well. But in the initial go, you will see that the outcome will be pretty much fine. Maybe a bit of training is required. And then we'll get the recommendation. So leadership coaching plus workload rebalance can be the action. So here, the key takeaway will be I don't have to be very much technical as the user of this particular solution. I just have to pass the data. And once I pass the data, I will get a proper textual type of response, not any complex dashboards or not any SQL queries or something like that. So we as a non-techies can very well go ahead and get the information and take the actions. But as I mentioned, we can create some of the dashboards as well, which you guys are maybe seeing in the day-to-day tasks. So that is also we can do. Always when we are working on the GenAI projects, it's always advisable to start small rather than thinking of doing everything. For example, let's say I want to come up with a recommendation system for employees based on certain data set. So I'll start building that first, and then later on I can increase the functionality of that solution. So here you can see the step-by-step approach. Identify, first of all, what type of problem you want to solve. Select high impact HR questions. Why we are losing top sales talent. Then we will create a pilot. Start with read-only insights, low risk, no automation. Start with read-only insights, low risk, no automated decisions, right? Then integrate, connect existing data sources, govern, add governance and control. And fifth, move to human in the loop decision support and later scale it. So a structured approach to implement AI in HR will minimize the risk while maximizing the impact. That is what we have seen when we are connecting with the clients or maybe in the training as well, that people are looking to implement everything in one go, and that is leading to a lot of confusion. And at the end, the entire project is not a success. So it's better to start small and then go step by step. Later on, once the small part of the application is created, we can expand the functionality further. The golden rule is AI recommends and HR decides. So here, the core pillar of governance will be data privacy and consent. So ensuring employee data is handled within regulatory bounds. Bias mitigation, actively monitoring for algorithmic biases in hiring or promotion suggestions. That means just make sure that right, we are not giving any biased data. For example, let's say I want to create a solution which can predict whether the promotion is very much we can do or not for this particular employee. So if you are giving machine a biased data that all the females data we are passing where they are getting the promotion and we are passing all the males who are not getting the promotion. So in that case, machine will understand that females has a higher chance to get the promotion, and automatically if a new guy comes in and we ask whether this guy will get promotion or not, so machine will respond that no, it will not, like he will not get the promotion. So that is like one of the biases which we are doing with the machine, passing one biased data. So it's better to have a random data and that too with the variety of data so that machine will understand that different types of demographics and which type of people are getting promotion. Same goes with the hiring as well. So just make sure that we are passing the correct data about different people with different demographics. Explainability. So AI outputs must be understandable, not mysterious, right? So that is again one thing. So human remain the moral compass of the organization. It just AI will help the people out there to take the actions rather than just busy in collecting the data and doing some reactive type of work. We will use AI to get the proper insights and get the details from there. Quantifying the value of the AI partner. So efficiency is what we will get from this particular solution. Time saved per HR, reducing in HR operational load. Strategy, fast decision cycles, training ROI improvement. Outcome can be percentage attrition reduction, which is again important for HR because that is one of the challenges. Reduction in attrition costs. Quality high engagement scores will be coming in. So elevating the human element, the new identity, HR partners evolve from reactive operators into strategic advisors, workflow intelligence leaders, and ethical AI stewards. The key takeaways will be GenAI transforms HR from reactive to proactive. The Copilot model enables continuous real-time insights. Governance is non-negotiable. And GenAI does not replace HR here in this solution. It just elevates HR. The question is not if you will use AI, but how fast you can turn it into your strategy advantage. So here I have given some of the use cases. I'll show you now one use case and then we'll get into one more concept and we'll show you another use case as well. So this is the code which I have written. There we have one HR engagement data.csv, which is what I have created. That is the dummy data. I'll just show you first that. So if you see, I just created this dummy data where I have employee name, department, the manager details, the location, tenure and months, engagement score. You must be taking some of the surveys and you must be getting this type of numbers. Workload score, learning hours, last quarter, last promotion, last month promotion, and some of the comments coming in. So this is the raw data which we have. Now I want to get the insights. And again, here we have only how much? 10 records. In real time, you may be dealing with huge records. So no matter what the data volume of your data is, it just you have to pass it in the system and system will try to get the insights from it. Right. So what we will do, we'll just pass this data first to the system and what summary coming in, we'll try to come back and try to see whether that summary is actually correct or not. Right. So let me launch this application. So I have created this entire application in Python. So I used one of the frameworks which is known as LangGraph. So when the GenAI models came in, companies like LangChain, Microsoft, they have come up with a lot of frameworks. Frameworks are basically nothing but which helps the AI developer to develop the entire solution with ease. So you can consider this as a tool which is helping me to connect the dots of any GenAI applications. So here I have created certain code. I'm not going through that. I'm just trying to launch it. So this is my backend code and this is my front end code. So I'll be launching the front end code. So once I do that, I got this type of page where I can very well browse the file and upload the data. So already I have set the local file which we have HR engagement data.csv, which is nothing but this file HR engagement data.csv. So you can see the data is here. The entire information is there. And here you can see generate HR insights. So once I do that, it will hit. So if you go back to the code, here you can see I'm using the OpenAI model somewhere. Here you can see I'm using the chat OpenAI model. So this model is basically coming from OpenAI, right? So I can very well access the OpenAI models in my machine with the help of API. So API is basically nothing but something like a connector between my machine and the OpenAI machine, where OpenAI machine has the model, right? So I can very well connect with that by passing this model. How this machine is, how this model is getting connected. So here you can see that we have the environment file. In this environment file, I am using the OpenAI API key. API key I can get from the OpenAI website. So if you go to this website, platform.openai.com, right? So here, if you go to the profile, you have to create an account here. And here you can see the API key. So I've created the API keys for my different clients. So I can click on here and I can create a new API key. Although I already have it in my solution, so I'm just sharing you how to create it. And once that is done, it will generate the API key and I'll copy it. And this API key will help me to connect with my machine with the OpenAI servers where the model is there. It's a prepaid. So if you see in the billing, I already have $11 out there. And once this will become zero, I have to recharge, right? So they again charge based on that how many tokens we are using. So as of now, the model which I am using here is GPT-4o mini. So how much cost it is I have for the token? So you can go to the OpenAI model token cost. Here you will find different models and different models token cost, right? So here you can see that if you go with the latest version of GPT, that is GPT-5, so it is charging $1.75 for 1 million token and $14 for 1 million token as an output. So there is an input cost as well, and there is an output cost as well. And that is logical because when we are asking any question to ChatGPT or any of the models, right, machine will try to understand that what the question is. So that will be the input cost. And based on what machine understood, it will give me a response. So it will be output cost. So they charge on input and output. And again, better the model will be, more the cost will be. For example, here the input is $21 for 1 million token and $168 for 1 million token. So it's a very powerful model. So they will charge more. For now, we are using 4O mini. So for 4O mini, you will see the cost somewhere. 4O mini, so this one, O4 mini, right? So it is giving me how much? $4 per million token and $16 per million token. If you want to do practice and you want to go ahead and play around and want to create some of the applications for demo purpose, then you can look for any model which is not charging that much of token. For example, here the cost is very minimal. If you go down, you can explore the detailed pricing and all those options are there. So that is where we are calling the model. And if I go back to the front end, so this is my front end. And now when I click on this generate insights, your OpenAI model will see this entire information. And from this entire information, it will give me the insights. How it is going to give me the insights? Again, if you go to the front end code, sorry, back end code, I am loading the data, the CSV file. After that, I am computing some of the metrics, right? Doing some risk analysis and all. Again, this was just a hypothetical formulas which I am using. As per your requirement, the formulas can be different. Then here I am generating the insights. And here I'm giving the prompts that you are a HR expert, analytics partner, produce executive ready report, constraint, use provided preview plus metrics as evidence, do not guess beyond dataset, business friendly HRVP style, identify patterns by department manager location, risk level must be low, medium, high, and then passing the entire details. Then here recommendation actions. So it will give me the recommendations. So again, based on the insights, recommend actionable interventions. Actions must be practical and HR executable. Assign owner, include timeline, add governance notes. Then build the report. It is generating the report for me. And then I'm building the graph. So this graph is basically a flow chart, you can say, which is going to execute at the backend, and the entire outcome will be coming in. So let's go and let's see what's going on here. So I'll click on generate insights. So once I do that, you can see it is executing and it will hit my OpenAI servers. And once it will understand and generate the insights, it will give me the output here. It will take a bit of time because a lot of insights is trying to calculate. And we are using again the simple model. So the latency will be less. So here you can see we got the insights. And this report highlights critical insights from the recent engagement data, focusing on the employee engagement, workload, and learning opportunities across departments. Notably, the tech and ops department exhibit significant challenges that require immediate actions to mitigate risk associated with the employee burnout and disengagement. Top insights. The tech department has average engagement score of 56 and an average workload of 84.5, indicating concerning trend on high workload leading to lower engagement. So if you go and you can check it out in your data set as well. If I focus on the tech employees, so here is my workload and that is 84.5, right? And that is what it is mentioned here as well, 84.5. That means the insights are coming absolutely correct. Same way for ops department as well. The burnout is 82.5. Two employees in ops have engagement score below 60, right? Let's see. Some wrong information right here. We only have two employees and both are above 80. So that information is wrong. So again, we have to find it's a very basic type of application we have created. But if you go here, 3 out of 4 employees tech have engagement score below 60. No, that is also wrong, right? Engagement score. Okay, my bad. I'm checking something wrong. Below 60 is this. I was checking workload. So this below 60. So I think for ops also it should be correct. Yeah, both are below 60. So that is fine. So engagement score is down. So that is correct. This is also correct. Here it is saying HR department shows strong engagement. HR has highest engagement score among all the departments, right? So you can check it out in HR. There is only one guy and the engagement is 77. And that is the highest. So that is also fine. Sales department again, some insights coming in. Risk to watch. High workload in tech and ops leading to potential burnout. Low engagement score in tech and ops may result in increased turnover. Stagnation in employee growth due to lack of learning opportunities. Quick wins. Implement workload management strategy in tech and ops. Engagement, enhance recognition program to improve engagement in tech. Provide additional learning resources in coaching and ops. This is the entire full executive summary, which we can very well send it to our leadership, which you can download as a text format. In the right side also, there are some insights. So recommendation action, implement workload, introduce a recognition program, provide additional learning resources, conduct pulse survey, schedule regular check-ins. What to do first? Initiate the workload management strategy in the tech department as a priority to address immediate burnout risks. Governance notes, ensure employee feedback is collected anonymously to maintain privacy and so on and so forth. So here we got all the insights from this data only. And if you plug and play with new data, again, it will generate the insights based on what data we have, which we are passing in the machine. Right. So this is one of the solutions, which is a Gen AI driven solution. The another solution which I wanted to show you is more of a chatbot type of solution where before it loads, I'll just give you the theoretical understanding what this guy will do. Just give me a second. Okay. So this type of system is known as RAG system, retrieval augmented generation. Now here what happens is that without giving, without training the model, how can I go ahead and get the responses from my document, right? So for example, if I go to this folder again, here if you see the data, here we have one employee handbook. Now this is a dummy document which I have created. So this document consists of some employee information like office timings, leave policy, work from home policy, and so on. So rack system, which we came up with, that was one of the accidental inventions, I can say, because what people found out who developed this entire models, right? They found out that if we are giving something in the context, context as in when we are chatting, we are giving some insights to the machine. For example, as of now, if I ask, what are the office timings? So in this case, ChatGPT will generate a generic type of response, right? But now if I go and take this entire document and pass it in the context, as in pass it in the prompt itself, and then I'll ask, what are the office timings? So it will give me the response based on the document which it has. The office timings are 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and employee should be expected to log in by 9:30. So you can see that output is exactly coming like that, right? So I did not train my machine. I just passed the entire context in the prompt itself, and from the prompt, machine is generating the response. So that was an invention which they actually found out accidentally, right? They were not expecting that machine will do like this. So now with that understanding, what they came up with. So what if I have a document and I'll use that document somehow in my prompt to generate the response. For example, again, I have given this example. I'll ask what is the emergency contact number. So the emergency contact number is here you can see 98765432110. So that is what coming in 98765432110. So same architecture is what they thought of, that why not we will do a trick out here, that suppose I am having a big document. As of now, the document which I have uploaded in the chat GPT was 2-pager document, but in real time, I may have a documents which are like very heavy documents. So what if I'll take that document, I'll split the document. Now, why I want to split the document? The reason is all these models, they have some context window. That means they can only remember certain tokens. For now, as a token, you understand a word, right? So if I ask here, what is the context length Chat GPT 5.2 has? I think it has around 4 lakhs or 5 lakhs, something like that. Anyways, it is not responding clearly, but I know that it is around 4 lakhs. So basically what happens, that document will have, like, your model will have a capacity of remembering only 4 lakh tokens. And let's assume that this document consists of 40 lakh tokens, right? So now if I pass this document directly to the chat GPT type of models, it will not able to remember the entire document because it has a capacity of remembering only 4 lakhs. So what we are doing is we are breaking that into multiple splits. Let's say each split is of 4 lakh. So in that case, what we are doing, we are splitting this document into 10 splits. Now these splits will go and convert into numbers because machine will not understand the text. We have to convert that to numbers. And once that number as in, this is known as embeddings, right? Converting your textual data to numbers. So that is known as embedding. There are models available, like OpenAI has its own model which can convert the text to numbers. Gemini has its own model which converts the text to numbers. So they have their models. So I was using OpenAI only. So it converts your textual data to numbers. Once that is done, these numbers I want to store somewhere. So for that, we have this database. This is also known as vector database. So basically, we converted this particular document to numbers. Those are vectors, mathematical vectors, and we are storing that into this database. So basically, this big document, which was a text, now present in this database in a form of a numbers. Now your user asks one question. For example, how many leaves can I take? So in that case, this input question will also convert it to a vector because I want to compare this vector which user is asking with this vectors which we have. So this input question will also convert it to vector, and then I will do a search, which will be a mathematical search. There's a concept of cosine similarities and all. So it calculates that for me. And then once that is done, I'll try to find the similar documents. That means from this embedded documents, I will look for those documents which are talking about the leaves. So it will pick up those documents and pass it to the system query. So it fetched out the leaves specific document from the database and passing in the system query. Plus your user's question is also getting inside the system query. So now it has user question plus the pages which are talking about the leaves. Both are combined, which will go to the LLM. LLM now has entire information, what user is asking, and at the same time, the leave specific information. And both will be combined and passed in the LLM, and LLM will generate the response for me. The way what we have done here, right? We have given the entire information as a document, and then we are asking, right? So LLM has this information now, and now we are asking also, what is the dress code policy? So what we are doing here, that is what happening there as well in our application. So that is what this application is all about. So here if I ask, how many leaves can I take per year? So it is going to use the same document and generate the response for me. So I got some error here. Okay, I have to change the API key. Just give me a second. How many leaves can we take per year? Generative to be provided. Okay, the correct one. Just give me a second. I have another code. I'll show you. So here you can see employees are entitled to pay 18 leaves annually. So if you go and check in the document as well, so 18 leaves annually. Let's ask for office timing. What are the office timings? So you can see the timing is correct. Now we have also passed the prompt that you have to give the response only on the relevant data. So if you see the prompt somewhere, splitter, data embedding, front end loader. Chain you will find. So here if you see, you are an HR assistant, answer the question strictly using the context below. If the answer is not present, say I don't know. That means this chatbot is pretty much going to give me the response based on the document which I have, right? For example, if I am asking who is the PM of India. So now I have made sure that it will not give me the response for the same, right? It's a HR specific document. Based on that only I want the response. If I ask any general knowledge question, it will not respond to, right? What is the temperature of Gurgaon today? That is 10th of Feb. So here you can see it is not responding. So this type of restriction also we can do so that it will only respond to what it is meant for, right? So that is the idea. So this way you can create various applications which can help you to go ahead and uh, what do you say, can stop doing some repetitive works, right? These type of questions you may be getting a lot of from the employees. So if you have this type of chatbot which can give you the entire output any given point of time, then a lot of workload will be reduced from your side as well. And you can think of some of the interesting and insightful things rather than doing some repetitive tasks. Right. So that is what I wanted to discuss. Any questions you guys have, you can let me know. I mean, if you want to take it, you can take it from here. Any queries, any doubts, you can ask.
Rahul, just a quick question. So, in the initial part of the session, you have shared the way around the Gen AI. Basically, it was a step-by-step guidance in a process, how to initiate, basically, if we require a solution of the use cases, few of the use cases that you showed us.
Mhm.
You'd be sharing that with us, right? I think I confirmed it from Vinod.
Yeah, I'll share the PPT which I have shared in the session.
All right. Yeah, because few of our team members have missed that. Team, any questions on the use cases, which was where Rahul demonstrated the solutioning around. One was on the bot, and the other one, Rahul, the first case that you have shown
Yeah, based on the survey data, how we can
based on the
make sure
survey data, the insights. Yeah.
this one. So
Yeah,
basically,
this one was the case. So the first case you showed us is based on the survey data or the internal data that we have. You created a platform where it shows us the insight of any data.
correct.
Um, right? And the second one is basically the existing policy that we have. You enabled a chatbot, which resolve the operational Q&As or FAQs that we generally get from the employees. These are the two cases that you have shown us,
Correct.
right? So, team, any questions on this front? Because the process I felt like is a bit complex from the second, specifically the coding part.
Yeah, coding will be difficult because coming from a non-technical background, but yeah, the main thing which
Yeah.
we should do is get the ideas and maybe you have the technical teams who can implement the things for you. So getting the ideas will be important and that is what you have to think on.
Okay. So, team, any of the use cases that you want to see how Gen AI basically benefits in terms of solutioning that you come across?
So at E and well, I don't have any use case example in mind currently, but I have a question. Can I ask now?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Raul, for the presentation. Uh, do you have any advice for us when we use these Gen AI uh, tool to
Mhm.
avoid hallucination or like to make the Gen AI reply to be
Mhm.
false? Is there any tips or guidance or the prompt advice to making the advice for prompt like making prompt to avoid these hallucination coming out from the Gen AI reply?
Yeah, so mostly the hallucinations coming in because the context is not clear.
Mm-hmm.
So if the context is pretty much clear, then in that case, there will be chances that hallucination will be reduced quite drastically. So when we are
Okay.
creating the system prompts or the user prompts, right? So we have to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that we are providing the entire context properly.
Mm-hmm.
For that, you have to define the role of the chatbot or whatever system we are building, that what is your role, provide the outcome format. I'll show you one of the ways to make a powerful prompt. Just give me a second. If the prompt is correct, most of the problems will be solved. This is the one. So define the task. Basically, what is the desired outcome we are looking for?
Mm-hmm.
Assign the role of the chatbot, that you are a pizza bot or you are a HR bot. You have to
Mm-hmm.
do this. provide the proper context that this is a chatbot which is giving the employee the details about the policies which is given to you as a document, and you have to stick to that and do not hallucinate. Provide the exact information what you have, and if user is asking something else apart from this document, just reply that I will not able to support on that,
Oh, okay.
and give the proper guidelines as well, that I want this type of tone, this type of style, this type of outcome. Maybe I want the outcome in a pointer way. I want the output in the pointers, and then specific format, that I want the outcome always in an email format, so that it will I'll just copy paste the email and I'll send it to the stakeholder. So if you give this 5 pointers properly, then automatically the outcome which you are going to get will be more precise, and the hallucinations will be also quite less.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So Rahul, would you have any examples of these type of effective prompts? Like this is good in terms of guiding principle, but if there are any live examples, I think a team would be more able to relate to.
As of now, I don't have a live example. It's more of a I write a prompt as and when the requirement
Mm-hmm.
comes in. But if you're
Okay,
looking for something like that, maybe I can conduct one session where I'll talk about the different type of prompts and how to write the prompts and maybe some of the examples. We can work on that. Because
sure,
prompting is
we can
more like
definitely
iterative.
check with the team on that.
Prompting is more like an iterative process. So if
Right.
you see that you must be using tools like Swiggy, Zomato, so there we have
Yeah.
fixed set of questions there. So you cannot ask anything
Mm-hmm.
else, those fixed questions. So that is like
Right.
the prompts decided by the prompt engineers, that these prompts are giving me the better outcome. So that's like an iterative process which helps me to decide that, okay, these prompts will be the best prompts for me, and we'll finalize that. So it's like a bit of time consuming process, but it's important
Mm-hmm.
as well, because input and output cost is involved. So we have to make sure that we are passing the correct prompts.
Okay, got it. Uh, yes. And do you have any questions?
Yeah, I do have one question. This is regarding data. Because for us to generate any HR insight, we need to input data, right? So, where will the data store? Because once you generate the report, will the data stores with you, or how does it manage from the back end, because these are all confidential data? And number
Mhm.
two is that since I can see that you are leveraging on chat gpt, I'm not sure there's a licensing involved, because chat gpt was rather public. I don't know how we manage the so-called data security in this case.
Right. So for that, there are two things out there. I'll explain that. Just give me a second. So first of all, there are two types of model. One is your open source model, and second is a closed source model. Open source models are basically nothing but free models. That means you don't need to worry about payment or something. You can just go and download those models in your machines, and everything will be present in your machine. So here there is no worry of data going outside my system. So I will be very much secured. So the models like DeepSeek, models like Llama, Llama is from Facebook. These are the models which are open source model, free models. So you can very well download that from, there are websites available. So for example, if I go to Olama website, so from here I can go to the model and I can download the model from here. For example, I'm clicking on this, and there is an option of downloading the model. So I can very well download the models. And when we are downloading the model, it is in your machine, residing in your server. So data will be inside your server only, and these models will give you the responses based on what questions you are asking. Second option is closed source models. So this is obviously secure. There is no worry about that because everything is in my environment. If I come to closed source models, like OpenAI model is a closed source model. Your Gemini model is a closed source model. Claude from Anthropic is a closed source model. So these models are pretty much, they charge money from us. And what happens is that they will give you the API key, the way I have shown you for OpenAI, there is a API key. Now, this is my laptop where I am doing the tasks, and this is OpenAI server. Now, when we are asking any question about my document, the data will go to the OpenAI server and comes back. OpenAI is tied up with various laws, so they cannot use the data for training purpose. So our data is confidential data. So whatever data is going in the prompt, because you remember I passed the data in the prompt and asked question. So that data will go to the OpenAI server and comes back. They will not store the data. It will just generate the response from that data and the response will be coming in. So here data is going. Yes, obviously data is going to the OpenAI server, but they have bounded with various laws. But now there is another option with OpenAI, at least. With Gemini, I'm not sure as of now. So in OpenAI, what they have is they have a tie-up with Microsoft. In the initial days when model came in, Microsoft had a tie-up with OpenAI. So what Microsoft told that I have my Microsoft Azure environment. Whatever model you have to give the parameters of those model. Parameters are basically nothing but the learnable, what the learnable parameters every model has. So OpenAI is giving their learnable parameters to Microsoft in a file. And this file is reside inside the Azure environment. Now, when I am using my machine and asking any question, it will hit this file and give me the response. Your data is now not going to the OpenAI server because all the model's learnable parameter is present inside the Azure secured environment. So whenever you are passing any question, it will hit the file, give me the response. There is no connection with the OpenAI server. Right. So companies are using this, which will be more secure because it's inside the Azure environment only. So the two options, if the data is very confidential, either you can use this type of system, Azure systems, or you can use the open source models and try to download that model in your server and then keep asking or creating the solutions using that model. These are the two solutions we have. If you are a bit skeptical whether data will go to the OpenAI server and it will use for training or something like that, so in that case, you can skip this particular approach. Is that answer your question? I think your voice is not coming in.
Sorry. I just want to know which approach you're using from your end.
Sorry?
You are using which approach? Two choice, right? Put here. Because you will be supporting us. So this system of yours is using which approach?
I'm using this approach.
Which one? Okay.
Because my data is not a critical data, it's all dummy data, so I'm okay with that.
Okay, so that means we have a choice to choose either A or B, right?
Correct. You have to choose between this option or this option. If it is a confidential data.
Which one? Sorry, I didn't see on.
Either you can download your open source model in your server, or you can use the Microsoft Azure system.
Okay, understand. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
So thank you, team. I think we are good for now.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll look forward to the material that you shared. Okay, and thank you for the session. We'll do the pulse feedback from our team, and we'll share the insights if we receive the feedback, with you guys. And yeah, do share the materials with us.
So, Swati, we will coordinate and share the materials with you. So, see, this was a generic session, so we could bring in two use cases. But
Mm-hmm.
in case if you see, like, there is something that you want to, really learn, if you have something already in your
Right.
mind, now this was just a kind of an awareness program, but we can get
Mm-hmm.
into a specific program to a specific, session we can deliver. That is one thing. And in case
Right.
if you want to implement in your organization the agentic AI or generative AI solutions, we can also,
Mm-hmm.
help you with that. So these are the things definitely we
Okay.
can, support you on.
Sure, sure. We'll
Yeah.
definitely discuss that internally.
Yeah.
Depending on the feedback we receive, we'll
Mhm. Mhm.
collaborate with you further on, right?
All right. Sounds interesting, Swati.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
So
Thank
thank
you,
you,
everyone.
team.
Have a nice day.
Have a
Thank
nice day.
you.
Yeah, take it as well.